sounds good.
Yeah, I don't know if,
I haven't heard anything from Casey, so.
Where is Julie?
I'm seeing
Julie
if,
didn't wanna leave her Peloton.
Oh, I get that.
I'm seeing if she zooms in.
She can
So
zoom
we'll
us.
find out.
Okay.
Oh. If only
Oh,
are we
There
There she is, I
order
bet.
at 1,800.
It says iPhone and I own no iPhones, so. Are you there? Oops, I should take this off. Are you there, Julie?
Julie. I like that Julie. God, I'm dating myself, never mind, scratch that.
I was gonna date myself when he said he zooming her in, and I was gonna say, if
There you are.
Franklin would only have known.
Right?
Did you hear?
Pink Cadillac, how
But it would
to
be.
zoom a do.
Ah, bye, Julie. Julie, bye, Julie.
You wanna give it just a minute? Let's see if she pops back up and then.
Well,
Well, let's go ahead.
I was gonna say, while we're giving her a minute, we've come up with a problem that Mark Harshman got his last check from last summer, and he would like it ASAP. I couldn't find anything. I know that we have to do all of that in a regular business meeting, but as far as I could find out, if we wanted to approve the money in and approve the money out tonight, all we have to do is say in our next business meeting
Correct.
that,
In our next business meeting that we took, and the same with whatever action we take on the locks. and stuff.
right,
Mhm.
exactly, yeah. So Karen, have you got that amount?
Nope, I didn't really
$690 some odd dollars from.
That's all it was?
Yeah. So
That
under-
one.
it's
Oh,
under
yeah,
seven-
they shut him down
it's
early,
under
okay.
700.
So can.
Do you need a motion?
Yes, I was
Well,
about to ask
or-
that, is there
Do we
needs-
need to actually start the meeting?
Oh,
I did.
Yeah, I heard
She
her
did.
say,
She did.
she said the meeting
She did.
started at 1,800,
Then
Okay.
we were still kinda messing around with,
cause I even wrote down,
I wrote down 1,800, cause I looked and
Okay.
said, let's get this going so we can get home. So I need a motion to accept the money from firefighters of Natrona County in the amount blank, so we know what that amount was.
so I will make the motion to accept the, funds from firefighters in Natrona County, that are, as far as we know, a little bit less than 700.
Well, and it's not Natrona County, it's
Firefighters.
Did you get
Firefighters of-
I'm sorry, the brain is
Firefighters of the.
frozen too.
Oh, it's firefighters of Natrona.
Firefighter,
Mhm.
yeah,
It's the
But
CO,
it's-
it's the
it's-
CO2 group, is it not?
No.
basic. Yeah, that's another group.
That's a different branch, but it's
Okay.
firefighters of Natrona County is the.
That's what all the firefighters go out of district on.
Okay, yeah, I thought it all came from there.
Well, it used to when Clyde did it, he was the one that pulled
Oh.
all the strings in, so I'm used to that act, so now that there's separate entities, it's kinda
Okay,
hard to track all of them.
well then,
So accept funds from firefighters,
Natrona
Of
County.
Natrona County.
and turn around and pay Mark Harshman the same amount that we received as the monies are due here.
Second.
both of those? Or his run-on one?
Mhm.
well, I kinda put it as one motion.
It's one
Okay.
motion.
And when it comes out in the minutes, it'll come out a little bit better.
Well, I just drew an arrow and said one motion, so kinda worked.
Okay, is there any further discussion on that? Call for a vote of Stu's motion to accept funds from firefighters in the Trona County in the amount blank, and then turn around and pay Mark Harshman same amount as the check is. Motion seconded by Dave, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same signal, say aye. Okay, motion passed, that business taken care of. And then I'll be going down Saturday and can get it to him if you're not going down before then, but we still have to deposit it too.
Yeah.
Okay, so then I'm going to turn this over to Stu, so he can tell us about all his research.
Well, we'll start with the locks. I did find the hardened waterproof locks for exterior doors, combination locks. They, have the, they're battery operated, I think they take like 4 batteries. They also have a low battery indicator on them, both the noise and, flashing lights. And the one model, that will take at least up to 100 different, combinations. Plus there's 2 or 3 master combinations, at least. It was $545 from the website. On Amazon, it's $463, the same lock.
And
$463 on Amazon?
Yes.
this one,
The DL 2700, yes. They both look almost exactly the same.
they all look the same.
Pretty much the same.
So Amazon was what?
463.
And what about installation then?
We should be able just to install them ourselves. I have to get the right throw, which is the latch, the
Mhm.
distance of the latch.
And most of them are adjustable for that, you know.
Yeah, so, that would be the only caveat to that. I don't think we have to hire anybody to install them. I think we could do them ourselves, in all honesty.
Remember, we have tech brain neutral.
Well, to
It doesn't
program
check-
it's a different thing.
Right.
But the way I read it, it's not that difficult.
They're not, they're.
Okay, cause
they're,
Neutro wanted me to let everybody know
Oh.
that he will offer his, I think he said techie geek expertise.
Yeah, they're,
So,
The-
techie geek.
The other one, since,
That's why I went to.
We-
Words.
oops, I'm sorry, wait,
You're fine.
Okay.
you're finished?
Things are frozen, they're not working.
It is warming up in here, I'm not doing.
Is it? I can't tell.
My fingers are frozen.
Yeah, mine too.
Karen, I got another one here.
Karen, I have a pen on here. Okay.
The other model, which is $786 from the website, does the same as the other one, except this one would log in dates and times of users.
so each user would have their own. and
Both
it would
of
log.
them, each user have their own 4-digit number, say, and each 4-digit, on the second one, each 4-digit number would have,
It keeps
it
a
would
log.
keep a log of it. So
So
where you
then,
can down.
so if we, really, Sly, I can't even kill you, I admire you too much. Jesus, it's alive. Sorry, I mean, I think even if we go with the one where it doesn't keep track, we're gonna be in the same boat we're in now.
Mhm.
Somebody that had to go to the store came,
Well, does this door have one code?
yes,
They all have
One code.
one code.
correct.
Every individual, correct, that would be true, except when someone leaves on these newer ones,
Right, you take the
you
number
take it
away.
out.
But what if it's not somebody that is left?
Would be,
There's-
I would say.
And you're correct, it would be the same thing, somebody
Yeah.
who has a current.
Because, you know, I was talking to Brian Oliver and I said, no probationary members, cause he's like, what about probationary, or do you have anybody who's a doomsday, or, you know, things like that, and I'm like, probationary members don't get it. He said, well, how big a code is it? And I said, 3 numbers, and he said, how hard would it be for one of them to watch over your shoulder? And I said, well, I don't have criminal thinking, so I guess not hard, but.
The simple thing is that this would make it to where each person had their own code. If we went the one that's a little bit more expensive,
We
we would
would
have a
know.
log of
Right,
You would always know.
who came in, so if
Right.
you have something missing between point A and point B, is you'd have a log of who entered in.
right, so like,
During that
on
time
our
period.
2-week gap, and I
Mhm.
did call the bond lady, by the way, Karen. On our 2-week gap, you know, it would have shown
Here,
us up here shoveling snow and everything when we came in to get snow shovels and ice and clean the station. Cause I opened the door, so it would've showed I opened it. Then we just have the gap until Margot discovered oddities 2 weeks ago,
Right.
you know. So the one though that logs it, we would be able to see
Who came
who
in?
came in
who
that
came during
2-week
that time
period,
period.
correct.
That's
The-
what you need.
So-
And do I think this is a sad state of affairs that we've gotten to? Certainly.
Well, with that, and I think it's $50 additional, of course, is a cord that hooks to your computer and the software. Or it comes with the software, you just need to get the,
Yes.
there you go, the cord, yes.
See,
You got it all?
I have a
So-
print.
here's,
So $50 extra for a magic cord?
Yeah.
That was 100.
To be able to
Well,
download.
this says 178.66.
Yeah, there was a different one though.
Okay, well, that was,
That's an alarm lock,
that's the only
oh,
one I
that's
have printed
that's the
off.
Windows software, that's the software
That's
and
the
the cord.
cord.
Okay,
So
that's
that's.
correct.
So how much, 178
My,
what?
my apologies, I
66
stand
cents.
corrected, 70.
178.66.
so here's the kicker, is to
And
have
that
these
goes
logs,
with-
if they can be
This one, if we want it.
reprogrammed, is gonna run us about
800, yes.
$600 to $700.
Well, then you're better off doing
I haven't
one.
told them that.
Yeah. Well, so the other thing that we should probably look at too is, cause I believe this door has a combo lock on it,
So does the one back there?
the one in the
So
far
does that
back.
one.
And
Can you just
Yeah.
disable those?
I believe that they can be just
Cause
disabled.
that's what I would like to do, is just disable them.
Yeah, is
But
that was
just
my
a
thought, is
Deadbolt and inside
Yeah.
deadbolt that.
Or
you
if we
can't-
can take out whatever we need in there to make it not work anymore,
to
you know
where,
what
to
I
where the
mean?
code doesn't,
Yeah.
Right, to where the
Didn't
code, you
unlock.
should be able to,
you can still unlock it from, or open it from the inside.
right.
But it won't,
It won't
do anything
recognize
from the
any
outside.
digits put in.
Right.
So, just so I understand, so that means the only ingress door, coming in door would be this.
yep,
Well, we're
Correct.
gonna need to get a new keypad for the garage door, but, yeah,
That's something different though.
right, and
Mhm.
that shouldn't be.
that's just a regular
Yeah.
electronic keypad,
Right.
garage door keypad.
I haven't looked into those.
Okay, now is there an
Yeah.
annual
Like I said,
fee
it'll work.
for
No.
this
No, no, no.
700, so it's,
No, we have the software in a computer. that
it's
we-
roughly $1,000, plus or minus 100 from rounding up.
Yeah, with the software, the cord.
To have that,
And the lock.
okay,
And it would be the 948.06 or the 750.
It's the 785 because that's the chrome one. I figured we didn't need the fancy brush.
No, we don't. Well, sure, let's just do it.
so I have 864.66.
Click down here,
That's right.
the type.
And I'm
That's
looking
what
at the
we changed it.
keypads for the garage doors,
That price.
they're under $50.
Yeah, I know. Put in the other one, it was the more expensive one, which,
So to do a lock there, the garage door,
Disabled
and,
these.
and then disable these, we're probably looking at less than $1,000.
And so what'd you say, a new keypad for garage doors 50?
Is under $50 for like there's one at Amazon for 47,
I'll just put 50.
and it looks almost exactly like what is down there.
Okay. So that'd be 914.66 plus shipping and handling on the 786 one.
Yes.
Okay,
And the department does have an Amazon account.
you can't get this one though, the one that logs stuff, that's not available through Amazon, right?
Correct. I couldn't find it anywhere.
Right, just website specific, yeah. That's what tells me they value their product, cause when you look at the difference, I mean, that's an $80 difference on the first one. So you can put in 100 different combinations, it's $545 from their website, $463 from Amazon. This one tells me now they wanna know where their stuff is and, you know,
Well, and I can look again, I mean, I looked briefly, but I
Yeah,
couldn't
no.
find it.
yeah.
So Dave, who disables the keypads? Is that
The
something
last
you
person,
do, or-
the last person that we had change the codes, and he has the little keys and stuff, is, Eric, God, I can't think of his last name right now. He's, one of the pilots for Life Flight. He has a locksmith business on the side, and he's the one that changed these codes for us last time. So for him to be able to just disable these, and then we change that one, I don't think would be a big deal for him to come up and do that. You know, I think that all this could be done for less than $1,000.
Ooh, it's gone up, did it really? Oh, it's from the door, yeah.
So, the stuff in the garage, it's the keypad for the garage door, the
So-
big door?
So,
Or
yes, the
okay.
big overhead door.
Okay.
There's a keypad.
Okay.
That's got an old, and they're trying changing it, so what we probably need to do is just disconnect that,
Okay,
get a new one, program it up, sync it with the garage door, and then we should be good there.
the door out here, is it combination?
Yes, yes, this one that goes out along the
So I
side.
think
Is it?
So
Yeah.
that, we just need to disable,
So one,
So
two,
one,
So we're
two,
gonna-
3.
3 disabled.
Yep.
Well, the nice thing is that one's disabled as it is, so.
Is it?
Yeah, I was thinking there was one that got disabled, and it's that one.
So people just leaving it open from the inside then?
Yes, the only reason that one,
I swear to God, I saw somebody enter that way once.
if it's open, if it's not closed all the way,
Oh, well,
Then-
yeah, okay, that could be.
So that's something you need to address with all the firefighters, is
Yeah.
close the damn
Need
door.
to check it and make sure,
Yep.
cause
Cause it's not gonna do any good to have
left after board
keypads
meetings and
and
walked
stuff.
over there and pushed on it and it's.
Well,
open.
in this one, when I left Sunday, I mean, we really had to push the door shut.
Yeah.
hard.
is it's making sure that they're secure. So this one's still the code, that one still has the code, and the one in the far back should still be the code. The one in the bays,
Did that far back one, I'm assuming you're talking where number 14.4 is?
Yes.
the,
Was that lock
No.
changed or is it still the circular one?
The
it
one-
should still be the
It's the door
circular.
on the end of the building, you know, where you come in by,
Well, there's that
That's
one and
decent
then
enough.
there's the one that's also out
Oh,
through
off
the-
of the cash room.
Yeah, there's that
As
one
far as
there
I know,
and
the
one
one in the
that-
cash room's never been even used.
It used to be used before we built this section of the station, and since then, I haven't seen it opened.
Okay,
I don't even have a clue if there's a key anymore or not. Hogadon had a key that said it was for the fire station, but it wasn't, so it just got pitched.
so my recommendation would be is that we disable all other locks except for that one.
And that one we replace.
And that one we replace. That way, all the doors, you can still exit out of them,
Yep.
but you cannot enter as long as they've been shut.
So we're looking at about,
We got $1,014.33 for
the locks, the lock, the software, and
Yeah,
Cord.
and the keypad for the bottom.
And then I would
Garage
add,
door.
Jesus, I would just to be safe, go like 30 shipping and handling. Better to go high than low,
the, yeah.
you know?
At least 30,
Right.
cause I don't
So
know
do
what
we
the
just-
weight of that puppy is.
Say of
Let's go
1,500.
50.
Okay,
Say 1,500, yeah, and then just get the garage lock too.
The
Yeah.
remote
Keypad.
keypad. I think 1,500 would then cover being able to do all that.
The disabling of the other locks, is that an additional cost?
Well, it's gonna cost him to come around.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean,
That-
that's an additional
Yeah.
cost.
Yeah.
got an idea at all as to how much for him to come up, or?
So,
6 pack of beer.
964.
You call it.
Should I buy
I'm
that
calling
12
right
pack of a damn steak and cook it out here on the grill? Buy him even a cowboy steak from Frank's.
That sounds good.
Okay, so that lock with all the programming hoo-la, 50 roughly shipping and handling, and another 50 for the keypad, that's 964.66, correct?
I don't have 50 for the shipping and handling, but for the keypad, the lock, and the alarm package thing
914.
is 1,014.33. And then we still need the shipping and handling on that. And I don't know if they're coming from two different places, and that'll be two different shipping and handlings.
I think the Amazon one's free for that. Cabinet there.
Hey Eric, this is Dave Mowry up at Casper Fire District. Can you take and give me a call? I need to talk to you about seeing about disabling some of these locks and what it would cost for you to do that. My number is 307-262-9572. Thanks, bye.
He's the guy that lives up by Vermont and where Pat's kid lives, right? My boss,
I'm not sure where it was.
I think he lives up there.
And then my question is, which computer is all this gonna be kept on?
Exactly.
Well, there's only the one, the newest one there in the office, I would say would be the one.
Well, how long of a cord, or what type of a cord is it?
It's a USB.
So we could always take and get an extended USB, and then,
Do we have a laptop?
the only laptop is the one that
Mine.
Karen has for the treasurer.
There's an iPad thing here, I think.
Well, there's a
I would say-
QuickBooks too, and I don't know how.
Maybe that's what that is.
I think it's a QuickBooks that they use for training.
Right, yeah, that's what I was
QuickBooks.
thinking of, oh, okay.
The,
Don't ask me the difference between.
Yeah.
the biggest thing that I would see is, with it going to that computer is that, that computer doesn't have different logins. We would need like the chief or somebody to have
Throw a separate login to it.
a separate login, an admin login. Because if that log goes to that
Access to
computer
anybody, yeah.
and.
Well, that can be done on that computer.
You should make it
and
separate
I'm
from
sure
Right.
Neutral can.
Yeah, I'm
do
sure
that.
Joe can take care of that, so we just need to have
Either
Joe-
have the program password protected or the computer.
Exactly, and I'm sure Joe can take care of that for us, so,
Okay.
being able to hook that up to that computer would work. Then we just need probably an USB extended cable so that we can reach from, cause I'm sure that's gotta be plugged into the door
Yes, and
And
the
all
other
the
end
way
to your computer.
to the
Yeah, cause
computer.
it says it's 52 inches.
Yeah, it's not very,
Not
So-
very long.
But-
well, it's, yeah, designed to
Yeah,
take a
it's-
laptop
Well-
up to it.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, we can take the tower up to it too. Cause the tower's not that big.
Okay.
So I would think, if you will, the locks, the new lock, the software cord, disabling the old, and a new pad, we're probably looking 2,000 or under?
I'd say we should be under 2,000, I think we'd probably be closer to around 1,500.
Okay.
Should we go up to like 18 or 2, just to be safe?
Well, that's kind of what I'm thinking. If for some
If
squirrely
we only
reason.
spend 14, then that's great.
Right.
Right, yeah, if we,
But if we need to spend
If we need
another
to
6,
spend,
then
yeah.
we have to do this again.
Exactly.
right, and, I mean, I plan on calling these folks, well, just to make sure all my research is squared away. But if they say, oh, no, you need a RAM stack to go with it, that's $100.
Mhm.
I don't wanna have to eat
Oh, right, so I would rather put into this motion a big enough number so that
Correct.
it covers it. That
So-
we don't have to,
A USB cable that is 50 feet long,
Jesus.
well,
You're gonna need a long one though.
is, highest price one's $33.
Okay,
Oh, that's not
The
bad.
lowest price is
So-
20,
Yeah.
so.
so, do we wanna just address just the lock stuff in one motion and do everything else on a different motion? By everything else, I mean the Wi-Fi.
the Wi-Fi definitely needs to be different, but I was thinking we could put the door and the locks on one
Okay.
motion.
Okay,
Just as long as it's worded in there that all of it is in
Well-
there, cause it's all from the break-in, so.
Correct.
But then the Wi-Fi is a separate issue, cause it's.
yes, yep, okay.
So I would say the locks, we're looking at approximately 2,000. That would
Or,
take-
or less.
Or less, to take care of all that. If you need a motion, I will, well, we wanna
No,
do,
we
we wanna
wanna-
do the door.
We wanna do
so-
the,
Yeah.
replace the door too.
Okay, so then, the door, if we put one of the wooden doors up,
Well, why
Or-
don't we go to the doors and discuss the doors first, talk about it.
So which door needs replaced? Just one in
The
the
cash
cash
we're going
room?
into the cash room, so.
Into the cash room.
So we just need to put a metal door there?
Well, it's preferable just because it's unheated, it's like, you almost need a weather door or an exterior door. For two things, number one, for the, she hung up, or, no, I hung up. So, they're back. So, the, and it's more secure
Right.
than a interior hollow core door.
Can't be kicked in so easily, unless your foot.
Yeah, let's go with that.
So can we get a used one or?
I have no idea.
I did look for some used ones,
would
So
think
you
Just
usually-
like marketplace and stuff like that, there's nothing. The only place they didn't try was, what is that, Casper doors or whatever they have it. Sometimes they have. these
Oh,
doors.
down Collins,
Yes,
yeah.
what's the name of it?
overhead door is.
No, there's a
It's-
Casper used doors or something.
Yes,
don't know.
I think it's
Forget the
Casper,
name of it.
but most of those are not
Most of
your
them are
exterior.
your interior doors. However, I did some price comparing between Menards and Home Depot and stuff like that, and I think the best price that I found was that metal door for like $236 at Menards.
No.
That includes the frame
And
and
that
stuff.
includes the metal frame that you need with it.
Oh, so that's a complete,
It's the complete package. Yes. So I thought that was actually a pretty
that's
good price.
actually a really good price.
And we could put the
And you could put your own code
thing on it,
Mhm.
okay.
So we could probably refurbish that code,
and put it back on
put
that.
it back on the other one.
As long as it's still working.
Well, and
I think it wasn't because it had been
Well, it
Jimmy's
just,
from being kicked.
is it,
it just sounds like it's really working really hard, but I attributed that to the battery being so cold.
yeah, battery cold and it being out of alignment now. so
Right, and that's what
that's
I'm
what I
thinking,
used
and
for the
stuff
being
kind of
jiggy.
being jiggied off.
Do we need a carpenter to replace the frame and all of that stuff, or?
That's,
I'll do it. You'll go.
I can help you. It's
You're a carpenter?
extremely simple.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
you
not the bathroom, you should come
You have
see
to,
it.
you have to understand, I am not the Mr.
No,
Fix-It.
he's not allowed
That
to
is-
touch.
I'm-
Mrs. Fix-It.
That
He's
is-
not allowed to
Mrs.
touch
Fix
my
It, come
tools.
get me kitchen
She is
water.
the operations chief,
I'm not a very
I'm
good farmer.
finance and
Couple
logistics. She gives me the list, and I go get it, that's my logistics.
Yes, your logistics.
Yeah, we can easily
We
replace
can put
that.
that in, no problem ourselves.
And
So you have the
if
patience
for
to
some
show up, 'cause every
reason
time I-
that combo is not reusable, those style for that are about $30. Because they're an interior, you can put a single combo, because it's going to the cash room
Well,
and the
that's what we
chief
have
and-
back there now.
Exactly.
Cause
Is-
Pat, didn't you get that one at Menards?
I did, Menards or Home Depot, and I think it was
Yeah.
more like $45. but
Yeah,
So
so
I
still,
would
It was
say-
too many years ago.
I would say just to play it
Yeah.
safe, at like 50 for a new
50.
indoor lock.
So like
just-
the one that you get careful, or a new keypad one?
well,
Just in
dude,
case that one's so
so-
screwed up.
Oh. just
between
put
the
it
price, how much was the door? Two?
236 or something right in there.
So between the door, if we, just in case we do need to do the new keypad on that, you'll probably need to do, guessing that door handle might be reusable. If not, we just need a regular door handle.
Doesn't the door
because-
handle
We're gonna
come
need a
with
new
the
door.
new damn door?
No,
No.
no.
I think
So
we're gonna need a new door
Separate.
handle.
I would say a metal door,
You gotta pay everything.
Jesus, that's so freaking stupid. How am I supposed to use a door without a doorknob?
a metal
Well,
door
everybody
with,
Exactly.
kills and dimes you to death.
with everything, then we should be able to do that for under 350.
Yeah.
So
I
if we
would
put
say-
in our bid 2,500 to cover everything.
To
that
cover
should
the
give
locks,
us-
the door, all that, I think 2,500 should cover us for all of that portion.
For locks and the door.
Locks and the door. And I've got some nice 3-inch,
I was gonna ask you if you had any,
cause
that's what
then,
we're gonna want.
mhm.
So I'll make a motion,
Hang on, let me find the motion sheets. I've lost them, there they are. Okay. Sue, need a motion.
for the expenditure of up to $2,500 for, the lock work and replacement that we need to do, as well as replacing the cash room door.
Oops.
top.
Well, a little bit, but it's still 57.
But waterworks, no bathrooms. It's 58.
He would,
It's a heat. Pat's gonna get on the table and start shedding layers. At least I got her to smile.
Don't distract, cause you just distracted and the brain's frozen.
Did you get Julie back?
Yes.
Okay, I added some, so let me read this. Stu made a motion for expenditure of up to $2,500 to replace the locks, disarm locks, purchase software for new locks, and replace door with metal one in cash room.
And keypad for garage.
That's all part of it.
Okay.
That's
Yeah, I
fine.
just
Oh, okay.
included locks as
Locks
locks.
in general.
Mhm.
Okay.
One big, does that
So
work?
did I. Yep, yep.
Can I have a second to
Second.
that motion? Have we got any further discussion on all of this?
is that where we're gonna get the money from?
Well, that's next, and I guess we should have included that in that motion, but we'll make another motion. Any other further discussion? Everyone in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say aye. Motion passed. And now we have to figure out, since this obviously wasn't in the budget, that's why I pulled up these sheets, and these are a work in progress. Every year they get revamped, so we're in the middle of revamping.
Well,
But-
in a way, we somewhat have it, because we do have station repairs.
For 1,000?
Yeah. And that won't,
We might need the furnace repair.
Yeah,
right, so
Yep.
we.
You want my suggestion?
What?
Take off Bunker coat and pants. If Morgan wants to get his stuff, he'll have to wait, and I found enough stuff for Dick that actually fit him. And that was for to outfit Morgan and Dick, so there's over $4,000 right there.
Well, we approved 5,900, so that would cover the 2,500. And if you're not going to use that money for bunkers, then,
Well, this
I-
is more important to
well,
me, and it should.
here's the thing that I would say on that, is I would rather see us hang on to that money for PPE, because PPE is kind of like a high priority. And if something were to happen between now and end of budget fiscal year, that you might have to use that money for it, is, in all honesty, for some of this can probably go in, turned into insurance that we can get somewhat reimbursed for.
That's the idea, I'm trying.
It is that, and it's an expense that we need to do to maintain the safety and security of the station. And we have the money in savings that we can do this and modify, that we actually add to station repairs the cost of this, the $2,500, that we add that to station repairs, that we don't take anything away at this point in time, and hopefully over the course of the remaining fiscal year, we can penny pinch on some of this stuff to make up that $2,500.
In addition to what insurance might, if it.
Right.
well,
If they can cover anything or what. But I would hate to see us take away from PPE.
But if you just need to get one coat, one
Right.
pair of
It,
pants versus.
and it's not saying that we don't, you know, maybe we don't allocate, maybe Lisa doesn't spend as much money on PPE which would, maybe we end up saving $500 on PPE, and we save $500 on, something else, that through that, you know, if the radio grants come in and stuff, if we can save money there, you know, is that, the hope is that throughout the remainder of the fiscal year, is that we actually come back with the $2,500 in savings. But we kind of took and said that all of this is stuff that we need. So I don't think we should take away from this fiscal budget. We have the money in savings. No, it's not the ideal situation, but this is kind of the purpose of, the reason of our savings is for the stuff that comes up, that it's like the, oops, you know, our station being secure and solid is kind of the same as our fire trucks being able to respond from the station.
Well, you can ask Margot. I said, Margot, you need to turn around and leave the station. When she called me Friday and said what she found, was I said, I'm afraid you have surprised somebody.
And that's.
And I was worried for her dang safety. And then she even had me convinced maybe somebody had their kids up here, but I was like, I mean, with all of our lovely addicts running around and the county yard getting gas stolen from and stuff, that was my concern, is someone coming out and beating Margot over the head.
So,
Well, and I would like to say we need to be with doing all of our state reports, we need to be a little bit more fiscal minded instead of just saying, oops, let's take it out of savings. I think we need to look at the budget, and what I looked at was, we have 18,000 designated for tires, and it hasn't been spent each year, and I would think that, again, I don't want to move any of this money around, but we didn't foresee this, so we need to, you know, at least have a game plan saying that we're going to, if at all necessary, move money out of this column and
Well,
add it to that column.
that's why I say for right now, is that we don't adjust our budget. We go ahead and we do the savings to pay for it for now. But then the hope is that between now and the end of the fiscal year, is that maybe we don't need to use all that money for tires. But if we need to use it, we need to have it available. Because if we take it from the tire budget right now, and then we have blowouts or something else, now we're taking and having to pull money out of savings anyway to
Well,
cover
and
it.
if we've got that, then we're still, and we go over the budget, we still are gonna have to look at what we're gonna shift around, because this money that's been reported to the state, we can shift it around as long as we don't go over our total end budget. But we still need to have a general idea of what we're going to do if we have to. I'm not saying that we do it on the paper right away, but we have a general idea, we have a motion in play as to this money will be taken from this section, just in case everything goes over. It hasn't in the years.
And I understand what you're saying, but I disagreed that, because we said that this was the minimum of what we needed for our yearly budget.
Well, we have 84,000 coming out of savings right now,
Right. Because of the radios.
earmarked to- Yeah, for the radios.
And that's if that all goes through.
Yeah.
So, that's what I'm saying, I'm not saying that we can't save some money, but for right now, instead of re-budget this and then this all ends up changing it again multiple times, let's pull it from savings for now. And between,
I'm not saying to re-budget, I'm saying that we have to have an idea as to where it's gonna come from. That we're not gonna move these numbers around right now, but we have to have an idea so that when it comes to the end of the year, if the numbers aren't matching up, we know where we're going to bring it out of, because this money wasn't budgeted for.
you bring it out of whatever is still remaining, whether that's tires, whether that's radio repairs, whether that's bunkers. at the end of the fiscal year, if you have a category on here that we haven't used it because we didn't need it, then that's when you say it comes out of that category. Until we get to the end of the fiscal year, we don't know what category here we can pull the money from for that. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, well, right now, it's just gonna come out of checking, since there's quite a bit in there anyway.
Exactly. And so,
And at the end of the year, if we end up going over, then I'm gonna have to do an amendment on it, on the budget anyways.
mhm.
But I doubt I will, haven't yet.
And that's just it. The chances are, is that between now and the end of fiscal year, that we will end up not spending as much in one or two or three of these categories, and that will cover the cost of this. But until we know for certain, I say that, we said that this was what we needed minimum for our budget when we passed this budget. So I would say that we take the 2,500, we add it for now, in the hopes that by the end of fiscal year, that we end up saving 2,500 somewhere throughout this entire budget.
Does the, does it have, you said, you know, it would come out of the checking account, but does it have to be bottom line out of one of the line items?
Right now,
No.
no. Again, yeah, this will come up later, when if it all comes over $1,000 and we don't get anything from insurance and stuff.
Right.
And that's what I'm trying to do, is pre-position us, so that,
Have a plan B.
basically.
I don't know, that's a question I need to ask those auditors when they do our training. Cause I don't know how picky they are when it comes to.
I know at the sheriff's office, I
each
had
individual.
in my budget all these line item things, but I would buy stuff, especially when it got to the end of the year, because if you ended up, different
Over.
situation here, if you ended up having money left over, the next year, the commissioner saw that, oh, you got $500 less here, you
And
got
they
cut on
yeah.
that $500.
Yep.
So it was always equipment that we needed, that,
Mhm.
you know, they didn't grant it first, and sometimes I pay for that equipment out of 3 or 4 line items,
Right,
depending on how much it was and how much.
Well,
was
and
in the
depending
fund.
upon how picky finance got, because finance with the city of Casper got, no, you can't transfer from that account to this account
Well,
anymore.
but if you look
There
at our
won't be-
budget, if you look at our budget and you look at the forms that we submit to the state, there's a lot of these that are combined into one line item on that state budget report. It's just we have it broken out into more individual line items. And, you know, the simple thing is that if you really wanna look at it, that this expenditure actually comes out of station maintenance and repairs.
Mhm.
So, for right now, temporarily, till the end of budget season, I say that we take and we increase station repairs and maintenance by $2,500 on our budget, in the hopes that we can recoup that 2,500 throughout the whole rest of the fiscal year in the budget process.
And that makes sense, so technically we would be, let's say, the furnace goes out, let's say it's gonna be $1,000 for the furnace got from it. And so then we take also the 2,500 out of that, it's gonna show us in the negative 2,500 until we get insurance. Once we get insurance, we make a motion to put that money back into that line item, I'm
Mhm.
assuming. And then, let's say we're still 1,000 short. Then at that time, do we also say to make up for the other 1,000, we take it out, $1,000 out of savings?
I can tell you right now where 1,720 of it can come from. It was Tuesday, we had that meeting with the county fire board, because departments were getting upset that the county was, you know, dinging them for out-of-state fires, and then it started for in-state fires at 5%.
Yes.
And Hagler wanted to keep that, and we're all like, well, what are you doing with all the money you've collected so far? And the county fire board guys were kinda like, yeah, what have you done with that? So anyway, now it's gonna be like 2.5 to county and 2.5 to us, each department. But anyway, all of the money that he's collected doing that over the last 2 years, if the MOU needs to be paid, if it's open and used and needs to be repaid, the money that has been, the 5% that's been taken out of firefighters, it was voted on by the Natrona County Fire Board people that the Natrona County, firefighters of Natrona County, where they've got the little coffers for the 5%, will pay it in full. We all won't have to pitch in.
So what you're saying is that the budget line item that we
For the
have for the
MOU is
MOU,
So the 17th.
If we
Is-
spend it,
so-
it's going to go away. Anyway, we're hoping for 2 or 3 years.
so right
Because
there,
that's what they thought, it would benefit all departments. if
so right
that's
there is
what they
one
did.
spot that come towards the end of the budget fiscal year, is that we end up saving $1,700 or whatever it is, right there.
Yeah, I just saw that looking through her, I'm like, oh shit. Shoot,
So-
sorry, Julie.
So those are the easy ways that we're going to be able to, at the end of the budget fiscal year, to overcome that $2,500.
Hagler wanted to hold on to that money, and give it
Of course he
another
did.
year to bounce up, and the Natrona County Fire Board said.
You know, in that same deal as if you look at it, we've got
So,
$1,100.
We benefit from that too, or we're gonna have to have a motion in our next meeting?
I would say if it gets opened and used, then yes. You know, you'll have to say, well, this is what was decided on December 20th. Da, 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 da. But for right now,
In that same deal is that
that's if it gets opened.
that $1,182 that we have earmarked for YDOT radio. As it stands right now, they're still not charging us.
That, there'll be no
And-
cost to that this year.
Yeah, and they're going back down
You
to
know.
talk to the legislature again this year to argue it harder
Right.
than they
So-
have before.
I mean, right there's 2 spots that easily covers that 2,500. But until we have it as a definite, that those aren't things that we have to spend by end of fiscal budget, for right now, I say that we just increase the repairs and building maintenance by $2,500. With the hopes that we recoup that, and our actual part that we have to submit to the state is that, hey, here's what we originally budgeted, but we're $5,000 under that, is what our actual expenditures are.
I know the auditors and the state, when I was working with grants and all that, the sheriff, our very first grants that we were getting for Homeland Security, wanted the money up front, which back then you could do, but all the costs weren't in, and after 2 months, and the county by mistake, and I told them not to do it, but they did it anyway, put it in an interest-bearing account, which is illegal. And so we had to pay that money back to the state with that interest. And the sheriff didn't like that, so we didn't wanna go with, and it took the state auditor's office to tell him, and regular auditors and accountants, you can go into the red on these grant things. The bottom line is, at the end of the fiscal year, your bottom line budget, your total, can't be in the red.
Right.
You can temporarily go in the red, cause this is a reimbursement type of deal. So it's similar to that,
Exactly.
is as long as our bottom line isn't in the negative, if it is, or it looks like it's going to be, then yes, we have to have another budget meeting or at the regular meeting or whatever, and put that, let's say we're gonna be short $5,000,
Yeah.
then we gotta take that out of savings and put it in there.
And do an amendment
And do
to
an
our
amendment
budget.
to the budget.
But until we get to the end of the fiscal year, we don't have to do anything, we can adjust monies here and there. And for right now, I would say that we just adjust and add 2,500 to the building fund and maintenance to cover this expense. And hopefully by the end of fiscal budget year, that is no longer needed.
Well, I just need all the bills from everything that it's going to cost us to fix this, so I can give it to the insurance company.
Exactly.
And see if they're gonna reimburse us.
Mhm.
Cause I don't remember what our deductible was on that.
I-
No idea.
I think it's 5, but I don't remember.
So the MOU and the radio usage fee, that, those two equals $2,902.
So are you gonna get a credit card from Karen to purchase
Well,
the stuff on the
let's-
other credit cards?
Let's figure out where we're gonna take the money out first, then we'll figure out the procedure on purchasing.
Well, I think we've got several ideas of where we're gonna take the money out of, so
Okay.
I think we're okay that we at least have an idea of various line items that probably aren't going to be used.
It will be safe.
So with just the
Right.
YDOT radios and the MOU, that's more than.
$2,902.
That's enough to cover it.
Yep.
Yeah, so
So,
those two areas
would-
there.
whatever the pleasure is, I don't know if the department has,
If we're ordering anything from Amazon, the department's Amazon account is set up and it's already set up as tax exempt.
okay,
So anything that would need to be ordered from there, I'd say, let's do that way. Was set up on, treasurer's credit card and all that. So then that was all set up for tax exempt on the treasurer's credit card for anything to order from Amazon.
Well, we
For
should be able to
anything-
give paperwork to the lock company
Right.
for,
For anything else, all we need is the tax exempt paperwork and submit that to
And
them.
Menards and Home Depot have also been pre-set up, Walmart.
yeah, but they only hold it for 12 months.
So we'll have to do it
So they'll
again.
have
We'll probably have to do it again.
Not hard to do it.
Literally, all you gotta do is have the tax exempt form.
I think I did Menards last year, so they should have everything that you just have to say yes.
If we just, Karen, if you can just print out a new tax exempt form.
Yeah.
Just for in case.
Mhm.
and the lock company,
Yeah, well, we'll have to
That's-
check with them to see if
I'll
they'll.
probably have to call them.
Yeah, see if
Do
they'll
that.
do the tax exempt and we'll send them, cause we can email them that.
You can email them
It's
form.
digital, so it can get
Okay.
Mhm.
sent to them right away.
Zippy zippy.
So, but I think it would be better to do it on the department credit cards than
Yeah.
I would,
reimburse.
no, I'd rather, I think it's cleaner if we just have the department pay for the department stuff.
Right.
Absolutely.
That's why I was asking, are you
There's-
gonna get a card?
There's 4 credit cards that the department has, just like the sheriff's office had. Here, issue you a card for this.
Oh.
The fire department has 4 credit cards.
Can't get a card or Holly so long as you pay for it.
Right?
Yeah.
Can do that too.
Yeah.
How much is a metal door and a frame gonna weigh? I mean, like.
We're gonna need a truck.
Yeah,
Well,
we'll need
how
that.
many people are gonna need to move it?
Oh, it's
No.
not that bad.
Two.
It's two.
One-
Seriously, for a metal door and a
Yeah.
frame?
Yeah.
It's not a solid metal.
No, it's,
Still, they just look like they would be hefty.
No.
yeah, they're not
Okay.
that bad.
You,
Okay.
I can do it, move them by myself.
Well,
Yeah.
oh, cause I was like, well, we have the little go under the engine,
No, it's not.
roly dolly thing that we
They're
can
not
put
that
on.
bad. They're not bad.
We can easily do that.
Okay.
So the other is the Wi-Fi.
Yeah,
And the Wi-Fi, if we order that, it can just be put on our bill.
I think it
Regular
just,
Verizon
yeah,
bill.
I think it just comes on the Verizon
Yeah.
bill. And
That's
it's,
how we've done it.
like I said in my email to you guys, the bad news is it's $350 for
And that's
device.
If they have them in stock, because that's what we ran into last year, they didn't have them in stock. China was backed up everything.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even ask.
So that was. a-
Yeah,
Well,
'cause
you
that
just got
was-
yours
they
not
were
that
like-
long ago though, so I'm
Yeah.
sure that the chips and stuff have started coming out again.
Well, he
And,
was recommending that's what we get, so I'm assuming they had it.
I will tell
I
you
can
that,
get assume away because
Well,
that's
that's
what
probably
we
not-
got and they
that's-
didn't
So
have
I
it.
do, see, I remember that conversation, you said, well, they're not gonna do this anymore, they were gonna put in this other thing, but they don't have any in stock. I remember that word.
Yeah, they didn't have
We
them.
should never
Right.
assume that.
the government guy, Mr. Nolan,
No one.
had to set up for a Zoom meeting with his engineer and then
Yes.
the products people, and it was like, this
We did
isn't
that
that
too.
hard. Oh, you
No.
guys had to do
Yeah.
that too?
Is it like the little brick thing you have?
Yes,
Mhm.
And it's
well,
$350?
yeah, well, the other ones they wanted to sell us, one was, the cheap one was 800,
Yeah.
and
Are
the
you
other was
kidding
over
me?
1,000.
But I can get it at my house for 50?
Not even that, I didn't pay anything.
We don't pay anything for ours, cause he's got a first responder discount.
Yeah, it was a rip-off.
It is.
Oh, giant ripoff.
He said, so after we went through and I told him that I brought mine over and all that, the engineer said, he looked us up, he looked this address up on their map, their coverage map, and we are right between two towers,
Right here.
right here. One from up here and one from the west. And he said, and there's two panels pointed directly at this building. One panel on each, pointed right here, he
We
says.
had good protection.
He said it will do you good, then I had to look up ours. We were really good with one. So.
Yeah, we've
But
never had any problems.
he, after that, the engineer said, for what you want, I told him we're a part-time, or volunteer department. It isn't manned 7/24, we're not watching televisions and all of that. I told him even with that, I run 3 TVs sometimes and 2 or 3 computers and our cell phones off of ours, and it does great. He said, I think that's the thing they need to go with is the safe device,
the home,
the home. But he says, except it'll be the commercial one.
Which is gonna be the
Different.
same exact thing
He
as
says-
the Anderson
He
one.
said it's the same exact thing, except
We
it's
charge
black
more.
instead of white.
Then you pay more for
Well,
it.
can we have the white one? It's cheaper.
Like,
but we should still be able to add that to our Verizon bill.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's all you do.
If you talk to them, can you buy a
And
tube
then-
of KY and have it visible if you zoom again and say, okay,
So-
now what are you gonna charge us? Just so that you're ready.
so that's $350. Now, the good news is our monthly cost goes down
What?
60 to 40 is the
to about
monthly.
40, yeah, 39.
Yeah, because when Karen and I talked to them, that it still was gonna cost that and our monthly was gonna go up.
Well, I got it in,
So-
I got a letter from him saying it was $39.99,
Yeah, I'm like, what?
unlimited. Yeah, so.
So,
So within
Thanks.
17 and a half months, we actually pay for the
Right.
device.
Yeah,
In all
Okay.
reality.
What a racket.
it is, and that little thing that we have is
A
That
POS.
jet drive?
catch, yeah, the jet drive
We
is a
will-
catch 50/50, whether it works or doesn't work.
they will keep that active. So my thought is, once we get the new device and it working, we get it working, we disconnect or turn off.
Deactivate
whatever.
it.
Deactivate it.
Yeah.
Unless it's not working now, then we should just deactivate it.
Deactivate it.
As soon
And
as
it
we-
depends on its mood.
Oh.
Cause when you're during board meetings, you hear a weird little beep. And it's if Pat has a hotspot out here and it means it shut itself off, now it shut it back on.
Mr.
And
Ramsey.
it's doing this.
trying to find out, if you would be able to come up and disable
Okay.
some locks for us. And what you think it would cost. Basically, what we're doing is we're going to replace the main front door lock with a new one that tracks, incoming. Logs, each person has their own log. And then the other locks, we're just wanting to disable the codes on it so that they can't be entered from the outside. You know, by punching a code, they'll still be able to come in, the door has to be open from the inside. Correct. Correct. Well, we've got one that last time we weren't able to put the combination into. We've got one on the back, and then we've got that, one, at the most we've got is 4 doors that we'd be doing that to.
Do it after the first of the year. Do it to, give us a print and we'll start it off with your
Okay.
donations. I'm trying.
Maybe he wants to do it before the end of the year.
Okay,
You gave me a good tax write-off on that snowblower.
right.
Yeah, like $2,300 or something.
Awesome.
It cost me like $4,000 for that thing, but it was.
But now we're like 6.
I know.
Okay, and what I will do is, as soon as we're done, I will take a picture outside and inside of.
Yeah, my head's
Cause I know we've got 2 different styles, and so I'll take a picture of both, and I'll send those to you so that you have
So
that.
he's all
I had a
right.
cocktail.
Well, I had
Okay.
to make mittens for the wiener dog so he could go poop.
So Jared has his booties go on all
He
the
would
time.
go out and.
I had to carry John's dog in today all the way to the couch.
Bailey's trying to balance on one foot, because
Yeah.
I got her stockings on,
Okay.
and she loses one.
I,
So she comes back.
I'll let them know that it should
Oh,
be probably
Poor Colt this
around
morning
200.
is like right foot,
Okay,
right
Yeah.
front, left rear trying to take it down. Then it take stock, then it do
We couldn't
opposite
do it.
again.
You couldn't handle it, you
And
just sit
I,
there
and
on it.
usually if I just carry him upstairs and put him on the deck over a
perfect.
cliff.
I will send those pictures to you
Nope.
this evening.
And so I put him in the entryway and he just dropped flat on his ass and I'm like, oh
All
my
right,
God.
thanks,
So I
Eric.
scooped him up, carried him in, and got him on the couch, covered him with a blanket I bought John last year for Christmas and just held my hands
So
gently
he
around
said it
his
should be
little
under
feet.
$200 to have,
Because-
Oh, I know.
Everything's
Yeah.
disabled.
So we should
I'm
still
gonna-
be good.
How much
Yeah.
did you say?
under 200.
Oh, that's good.
I'm gonna take and send him pictures of the locks and make sure which ones we have and stuff, and that way he can give us an accurate.
more accurate
He's
one.
saying like $75 service fee and probably about an hour's time frame.
Excellent.
So that's easily under 200. So do we need a motion then to go ahead and go forward with the Verizon?
Yeah, we were writing it out
Yeah.
while you were talking,
Okay.
so.
Yeah. Okay,
So
cause I was gonna say, if not, I'll make a motion.
Well, if you wanna, if Dave wants to make the motion, and I'll read you your motion.
Okay.
Dave made a motion to purchase a new Wi-Fi device from Verizon for $350. This will cause our monthly unlimited data to go down to $40 per month. Seconded by,
Stu. I will say.
is there any further discussion on that?
I'm good with that.
Okay, they made a motion to purchase a new Wi-Fi device from Verizon for $350. This will cause our monthly unlimited data to go down to $40 per month. Stu seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor of this motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed signify by saying aye. Motion passed. Sorry, that was a quickie because I'm cold.
No, that's fine.
My hands can't write anymore.
So then if we get the new Wi-Fi in here, will Julie's donation work?
They should. I mean, we have to get them, we have
Right.
to look at them,
Right.
and that would do the interior, I would think. I'm sure they have to be plugged in, so we'll just have to find some plugs,
Right,
and, you know, go from there. But we definitely needed the Wi-Fi before we could move forward on any, whether we buy cameras, get
Correct.
cameras donated or whatever.
right.
And I think if they're being donated, that's our first line of defense, and we should go with those. and
I agree
Make sure that
100%.
we work,
Yep.
and we
You
go
can
from
always
there.
add to it.
And we can add to it.
Yep.
Need a motion to adjourn?
Yes.
So made.
Who seconded it? Me.
Peace out.
Meeting adjourned at 7:11.